Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone podcast. My name is Kathy. I wanted to bring to your attention a couple of interesting developments in the Idaho versus Kohberger case. One is a notation, page 96 of 96, in other words, the last page of the case summary page, which is maintained by the clerk of court to document all key developments in the case. What I wanted to call your attention to at this time is a notation for June 5th, 2025. There is an order, and next to it is the lock and key icon, which when we see that as opposed to a PDF icon, that is an indication that this is a sealed order. This is entitled Sealed Order Granting Access to Sealed Records. There's nothing further describing what access, who was granted access, what sealed records are being referenced here. However, there was a new document that dropped on the 5th. This is a second order. This is dated June 5th, 2025. It was filed at approximately 3:20 p.m. It is entitled Order. And this says, the order granting access to sealed records dated June 5th, 2025 is sealed pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32 G1 32I 3A 4 and 6, and also Idaho Code Title 19, Chapter 11. It is so ordered, dated this 5th day of June 2025, and then Judge Hippler's signature line here is interesting because he signs it as Stephen J. Hippler, not as district court judge in this case, in other words, the trier of the law in Idaho versus Kohberger, but in his capacity as administrative district judge for the 4th Judicial District in Ada County. So this appears to be referencing the sealed order that appears on the case summary page and will not be appearing on the docket because it is under seal. Now, what is also compelling here is, while we have seen Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32 before many times, the parties have raised this rule in seeking to have certain things sealed from public disclosure. There's many court orders that have been signed referencing Rule 32 as well. However, Idaho Code Title 19, Chapter 11 is interesting. I don't think we've seen Judge Hippler ever referencing this legal authority before in any order sealing anything. So when we do a quick search of the Idaho legislature, Title 19 is entitled Criminal Procedure. Chapter 11, which is what's referenced in the order, Title 19, Criminal Procedure, Chapter 11, is called Powers and Duties of Grand Jury. And there's multiple subsections here, starting with powers and duties in general, indictment defined, foreman may administer oath, evidence receivable by grand jury, and so on and so forth. So there were two orders that were entered on the 5th, one under seal, one public record, and they appear in some way to relate to access to possibly grand jury related records. You can read the case summary page as well as this new court order on the docket. If you plug in any search term of your choice, Idaho cases of judicial interest, it will pull up the website for the Idaho Supreme Court. There are several cases there of high profile, high interest, Kohberger being one, and you can then go to the case summary page and also to the docket and see both of these materials. Thank you for joining us here today.